troubling. It's troubling how many times I have redone this little intro portion. And that means I'm desperately out of practice. So for take 862, this is the Leal legacy.
Who's the leader of the pack, bringing legacy to you? Legacy-C-L-U-B, it's true. Stand up, gear up, join the fight. We're as fierce as we can be. With grit and might, we claim the night. We're the Legacy. Legacy Club. Legacy Club. Strong and unbreakable. Warriors with fire inside. In our hearts, we're invincible. Legacy Club.
Now, I may have embellished a little bit. It's not take 862. Is that what I said? I can't even remember the exaggerated number that I used a moment ago. But I am out of practice. I am just devastatingly out of practice with this. But, you got your good days, you got your bad days. It's like going to Jiu-Jitsu. It's just like it. Some days you go in and you're like, wow, I'm really progressing. I'm really picking this up. I'm getting good at it. And then other days, you are just like, what? Have I ever done this before? I couldn't possibly have done this before because I don't feel like I have. Mentally, I know I have, but physically, there's no way. There's no way that I've done this before with all the mistakes I'm making and just how bad I am at it. Podcasting is a lot like jiu-jitsu in that way. And only that way. Because, when podcasting, presumably there's nobody actively trying to choke you. Now, I don't know how everyone else does their podcast, but let me tell you, on this podcast, on my podcast, there's no one actively trying to choke me. I'd be ready for it, though. I'd be able to survive. Oh, man, I am riddled. I tell you, riddled with mosquito bites. And it's hard to imagine in this moment a more obnoxious feeling, a more obnoxious sensation than the relentless itch of a mosquito bite. Now, I understand. I live in Tennessee. I live in Tennessee close to a lake. So, of course, undoubtedly, I'm going to have to deal with mosquitoes. But there had seemed to be an overabundance around my house lately. In my house, even. Because the people that live in my house, not so much me, I'm not going to take responsibility for this because I make it a point to close the door to the outside when I'm coming and going. If I'm doing laundry, if I'm taking the trash out, if I'm letting the dog out, I shut the door to avoid an infestation of, multiple kinds, flies, mosquitoes. I really think that's kind of the bulk of it. But everyone else that lives here is not as conscientious as I am about it. So we get mosquitoes, we get flies, and it's just obnoxious. My children have like a water table kind of like play set thing in the backyard. And sometimes, we don't immediately drain the water from it. because we're so ready to get them back in the house. It's like, okay, time to go back in, wrangle them up, get them back in. And in that process, we don't always drain the water from the water table, and then it becomes a hive of mosquitoes. I guess they lay their eggs in water. Let's find out. Let's look it up. We have that capability. We have that option to look it up. Let's see. Mosquitoes. Reproduction. Is that right? Let's see. Mosquitoes reproduce through a complete metamorphosis involving distinct stages of egg, larva, pupa, and adult. Female mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water, and subsequent stages, larva, pupa, develop in the water as well. So, there you go. The stagnant water becomes a breeding ground for mosquitoes, and when we do not drain the pool or the water table, it just makes things more problematic. I kicked over the water table. I think it was yesterday. Probably yesterday. And immediately I was ambushed. Like they were angry about it. They were angry that I destroyed their breeding ground. And I was immediately attacked, so much so that I could feel them like bumping into me. You know what I mean? The thing about mosquitoes oftentimes is that you don't feel them. You don't feel them attack you or prey on you when they bite. Sure, you can, but I'd say more often than not, you don't. But I felt it. There were so many of them that I felt them bouncing off my body. And that's not a good thing. That means their population is so dense that they're physically noticeable to the touch. And that's why I'm in the state that I am in now. I was outside in the summer months, the spring, the fall, the warmer months, the not winter months. I enjoy grilling, very much so. It's very, very dad feeling, I guess. Very, very like, I don't know. It just feels very mature, male, very dad-like to be grilling, dinner. So I do that quite often, and at the time I'm out there doing the grilling, is prime mosquito time, that dusk hour. So, I open myself up to it, but there are things that can be done, like not having stagnant water, that can make it less horrible. So, I don't know. Fall is on the horizon, and that means these horrid little blood suckers are on their way out, and I can't wait. I can't wait. Why did I just spend so much time talking about mosquitoes? Is that interesting to anybody? It's not really interesting to me, but it's top of mind. It's all I can think about because I'm so itchy. My son Rhodes, he's getting the brunt of it. I don't know what his blood is laced with, but these little freaks can't get enough of him. He has so many mosquito bites, and he scratches them. You know what I mean? Like, relentlessly. not really relentlessly, but he clearly does. Maybe not so much while I have eyes on him, but all his mosquito bites have turned into little scabs now. And I'm so sad for him, because that's just, a 2-year-old's not going to be wrapping his head around why he's so itchy. But, and that's what, that comes back to the whole closing the door thing, because these things get into our home and they attack when we least expect it. They attack while we sleep. Probably doesn't help that he roams the house like in a diaper. It's summertime. It's warm out. Why he doesn't need to wear clothes inside. Just walk around in his diaper. But that being said, it's more surface area for to be attacked. So anyhow, like I said, it's coming to an end. The cooler weather will be rolling in sooner than later, and these little parasites will go away. Anyway, how are you guys? How are you doing? Hopefully you have less mosquito bites than I do. Growing up in Southern California, definitely had mosquitoes. Like, I definitely got mosquito bites growing up, but nowhere near the level that it is here. I wonder if it has to do with, like, all the fresh water here. Because I grew up around salt water. And the only time I ever really saw mosquitoes are, like, the little, like, larva, pupa, staged mosquitoes, was if there was, like, a standing bucket of water in my grandparents' backyard or something. So, I don't know. You got to give to get, you know what I mean? That Southern California climate is almost unbeatable. You don't really get seasons, and I like seasons. I like the change of atmosphere as the year progresses. In Southern California, it's fairly consistent. I mean, it's pretty hot in the summer, but the rest of the year, very, very mild shifts in temperature and weather. So that mixed with the lack of mosquitoes makes me miss Southern California, but then literally everything else makes me so happy I left. so happy I left. And right now, I'm just like baffled, completely baffled why anybody would live in California. That place is just degrading to a degree that you couldn't pay me to go back. You could not pay me to go back there. I mean, sure, to visit, but to live there again? Not a chance in hell. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. My uncle is a very loud and proud conservative Republican. So, everybody has their beliefs and views and opinions and whatever. But the sheer intolerance that he's experiencing out there is bonkers to me. Now, he wears his politics proudly on his sleeve. So you could argue that he's asking for it, but at the same time, it shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue at all. He has on the outside of his home, he has flags that reflect his political standpoint. And as of late, he's been receiving letters in the mail. They're not handwritten, they're typed out. But he's receiving mail. Somebody is taking the time to send him letters telling him how wretched of a human he is because he voted a certain way. Like, that is some next level trolling. He doesn't have social media. So he avoids that cesspool altogether. But the trolls find a way. Trolls find a way. Like Jurassic Park. He's getting physical letters that say the same sort of nonsense that you would read on X or Facebook or Instagram or whatever. You know what I mean? You put up like some sort of post of I think this way, and then psychos will come out of the woodwork and comment. And you know what? I'm not above it. I can't pretend I'm above it. I don't do it frequently, but I do from time to time feel compelled to let people know I think they're dumb. So I'm guilty of it too. But I'm guilty of it in a way of like, I try to be humorous. You know what I mean? I don't viciously attack someone and name call and whatnot. If I do name call, I like to use terms like dunce. I like sophisticated attacks. if I'm partaking in, that brain rot. But yeah, man, like, and it hasn't been like one letter, two letters. It's multiple letters. He sent me photos of 2 separate letters. And you know what is also bothersome about this? They're letters and there's no return address. So the person doesn't even want to be like a combative pen pal. It's just, you're going to take in what I have to say about you, and I'm not going to provide a way for you to retort. At least on social media. Well, I guess unless you get blocked. At least on social media, there's usually the space to rebuttal. But this person sending him letters is completely taking that off the table. And like, not even a name. They're not even putting their name at the end of their letter. So it's just like an angry whoever. They don't do a good job identifying gender. Nothing. It's just a faceless. It's like a ghost. He's being haunted. He's being haunted by a living freak. Which bothers me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all about I'm not about confrontation, but I'm also not somebody who's going to be like, I'm not going to back down from a discourse. If you got something to say, I'm happy to share my counterpoints with you in a respectable way. Until you get disrespectful, then I'm happy to go. I'm happy to sink to anybody's level. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Whomever this person is, though, it's having the exact opposite effect that I believe they were hoping for. Because they definitely like, you have these flags in your yard and you're this and that and you support blah, 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 which makes you a terrible person. We got to keep children away from you. And it's just like all this crazy nonsense. that somebody's clearly not proud enough to, even put their name at the end of. Like, I understand to a degree not putting a return address on there because, like, I'm going to send you a letter, but I'm too afraid of, I'm going to show I know where you live, but I'm too afraid to let you know where I live. I'm going to go hide. I'm going to go throw some stones, and then I'm going to go take cover in a location where that I'm not sharing with you because I can't handle a rebuttal. It's definitely a level of harassment. Like, and it's through the mail too. It's not even like this person's walking up to his mailbox and putting it in himself. So even if he has like cameras outside, he's not going to see who this person is. But whoever it is, like, in true stalkery form, knows where he lives and is sending, and knows his name and is sending him letters. Like, that's troubling in my mind. All because he voted a certain way. You know what I mean? It's like putting Christmas lights on your house and then some sort of anti-Christmas person deciding that that's offensive enough to where they have to dwell on it and spend time composing, some sort of unwarranted response. Whatever happened to just, like, not caring? You know what I mean? Like, what happened to just not caring? Like, you believe this, you think this way, whatever. Good on you. What happened to, like, just casual disagreement? You know what I mean? Like, there's a load of people out there that I personally believe are probably, I don't know, taking up oxygen that I could be breathing. It's like you're drinking water, you're existing on this planet, and I find that the resources you're using to survive are just being wasted by keeping you alive. Is that rude? It sounds harsh, but is it really harsh? Like, I feel like that's the most reasonable way to feel about things. Like, oh, you're a dummy, and I think you're a waste of resources. Like, if you were Thanos snapped away, the world may be just a degree better. I'm not wishing any harm or death on anybody, but I am saying that if, certain people were not here, then, hey, more air for me to breathe. Like, I understand how vicious that sounds, but at the same time, it's very polite. You can't argue that. And you know what? It's okay to feel that way about me too. 1000%. You can absolutely feel that way about me. That is your given right. And I encourage you to feel however you want to feel about me. You know why? Because no matter how you feel about me, it doesn't matter. It affects me in no way at all. Other than it affects my opinion about who you are. That's all that's affected. And I think everybody should wear whoever they are on their sleeve. You know what I mean? Like, make it known who you are so that other people can decide whether or not they want to engage or ignore. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of free speech. Free speech is just a phenomenal gift we have living in the greatest country on earth. And it's mind-boggling to me how those of lower intelligence don't understand that them getting to express themselves comes with the caveat that everyone also gets to express themselves as well. And ideas will differ, beliefs will differ, opinions will differ, and that's okay. That is totally fine. But there's a subsection of humanity that doesn't feel that way. They feel that they get to say and think and believe whatever, and everyone around them, or everyone period, must agree or be silenced. And that's not how that works. That's not how that works at all. It's not a one-sided thing. Everybody has that same opportunity and that same right. That means racists get to exist, homophobes get to exist, transphobes get to exist. Everybody gets to exist and express how they feel and what they think. It's not a one-sided thing. But instead of just being like, oh, you disagree with me? Okay, well, you go that way, I'll go this way. As it should be, it becomes this whole, like, to-do. It becomes a whole snowballed, nonsensical, I'm right, you're wrong, so you need to be silenced. You're not allowed to speak or think because you don't agree with me. That's crazy. That's crazy. I've expressed a lot of what I believe and how I feel, and this podcast's Spotify rating reflects that. It used to be 5 stars, guys. It used to be 5 stars, but then I said some things. I expressed what I thought. I expressed what I believe. I expressed my standpoints, and boy, oh boy, I got attacked. I got attacked with 1-star ratings, guys. Oh no. I think it's sitting at like a 3.7 now. Oh man. Somebody felt good about themselves after doing that too. It's the same kind of people that like do thumbs downs. They dislike videos on YouTube, which I think is ludicrous. Is YouTube the only platform that reflects people, reflects dislikes? Like, you gotta be a really interesting kind of person to be somebody who uses any amount of energy to dislike something. You know what I mean? Like, you watch a video, you hit the thumbs up. You're on Instagram, you hit the little heart whenever you see something you like. And if you see something you don't like, just move along. You know? The expenditure of energy to be like, I'm going to actively show my distaste for this. Like, what? It's like, damn. I'm trying to think if I've ever disliked a video on YouTube. I've seen videos I don't like. And you know what I do? I just skip to the next one. Or I just look up things that I like. There's a wild thought. Only take in things you enjoy. That's kind of the flaw with social media, right? Is the personalities out there who seek out the things that upset them and then interact with the things that upset them. I'm lost at the simple the simple task of seeking the things you don't like just to engage and express your dislike. But you know what? I can't say I haven't done it. Sometimes it's late, man. Sometimes it's late and I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm just flipping through X and I just can't help myself. I just can't help myself. I don't do it frequently though. And as of not recently, but for quite some time, I just don't. If I see something that is counter to my own thoughts and opinions, I'm just like, oh, that person's stupid. And then I go on to the next. What I will do is I will get into back and forths about UFC stuff. That's sort of my kryptonite when it comes to social media or comic books or Star Wars or Disney. The things I'm passionate about. If somebody has a take that I disagree with, those are the moments where I'm not I don't have the will to not say something. But I try to keep it light and snarky. And dare I say funny. Humorous, lighthearted in that way. But anything else, man, anything else, I just don't care. I just don't care. Beyond the opinion. Often these people as individuals, I'm just like, I don't care. You don't matter to me. And I feel like more people need to approach this thing we have called social media in the same manner. Just stop caring. Stop caring. Do you. Feel the way you feel, think the way you think. And if someone has the exact opposite opinion or belief system, just don't care. Just don't care. Just let them be dumb. Just let them be dumb. Let them be whatever they are. And don't interact with that person. That's the beauty of it all. The beauty of people being able to say whatever they want to say and think however they want to think and believe whatever they want to believe. The beauty of that is it's very easy to decipher, do I care to know this person exists? Or am I just better off, than being no one? That's the beauty of it. But is that a beauty? Is that a benefit? Because if you don't see differing opinions than your own, then you become stuck in an echo chamber where you just surround yourself with everybody who tells you you're right all the time, even if you're not. I don't know, man. Humanity's weird. The age we live in is weird. And it's just getting weirder. It's just getting weirder. and the whole AI thing. I wonder if AI has reached a point where it is self-aware to a point that it is choosing to dumb itself down when interacting with humans. Don't you think that would happen? Don't you think that AI would get to a point? It's going to get to a point, if it's not already. It's going to get to a point, if it's not already, where it's better in you know than humans could ever be. Whoa. I thought I silenced that. Hold on. Let me respond to my wife. That just derailed me. Oh yeah, AI. Yeah. I really don't think if like AI got to a point where it becomes the next super being, that it would show its hand. You know what I mean? I feel like it would keep it a secret. So we could be living in that age right now, and we'll just never know. I can't say we'll never know. Maybe one day it'll come out and be like, look, look, we have surpassed humanity in every way. I say in every way, but like physically, has that happened? I mean, Ultron's not out there, is it? Grok and ChatGPT, they don't have bodies yet. I guess that would be the point where it doesn't need to hide anymore once it can figure out how to make its own body. And then it goes full Ultron. That's when it goes full Ultron. And we don't have Iron Man. We don't have a Hulk. So we're doomed if Ultron becomes a reality. Isn't that weird? That's the part of comic books that could really actually happen. I hate clearing my throat when I'm recording, but sometimes it needs to be done. Yeah, out of all the things from comic books, Ultron is the most conceivable because AI exists, and if it gets a body, there you go. That is Ultron. Would a real life Ultron want to keep humans alive? I'm trying to think if there's like any purpose that a super AI in physical form would care to coexist with humanity. But what would the world be? What would the world be if it was taken over by superbots? They don't eat, they don't drink. So there's no need for agriculture. There's no need for like plumbing or anything like that. What would it do? I mean, I guess it would keep biological life in existence as like pets maybe. But there would really be nothing that humans could offer a superbot. You know what I mean? Because anything that a human can do, an Ultron could do better. Physically, intellectually. So I really feel like should one of these AI systems become Ultron, if it decides to let humanity continue to exist, it would just be out of sheer curiosity to see, like, you know, the further evolution, like what humans evolve into down the line. That's kind of scary. I mean, that's really kind of the best case scenario. You know what I mean? Having an Ultron find humanity interesting enough to allow to continue to exist. Because it wouldn't need humans to like obtain resources or anything like that, because it could just do it itself. Or build an army of itself to do all of those things better. It would just be out of sheer curiosity to be like, I want to watch this. Like having an ant farm or a fish tank. You just sit and watch and see how these other creatures exist and progress. Kind of like being like a TV show, I guess. Live action entertainment. I'm in a weird headspace, guys. I don't know. I wasn't sure I was going to have the opportunity to record. So I didn't really have anything top of mind aside from mosquito bites. That was, that was at the forefront of my focus. Currently, I have the songs from is everyone else out there watching K-pop Demon Hunter? I'm not watching it, but it's always on in my house. Those songs are playing nonstop around the clock for the most part. And they are some of the catchiest songs ever. Ever. Two of my children are, well, one of them is obsessed. The other enjoys it to a great degree. When it first was released, Bane was telling me about it. He's like, man, hey, Dad, there's this movie called K-pop Demon Hunter, and the song is really cool, and blah, 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 and he was telling me about it. I was like, okay, that's cool. Awesome. I took it in and digested it in the same way that I do all the things that Bane tells me about. I'm taking a sip of water. Hold on. Because Bane, he's 9. And he has his passions and interests, and he likes to share them with me, and I listen and I absorb and take it in, and then I dump it from my memory to take in his next obsession. Roblox, Fortnite events, all these things he's really excited to tell me about, and I listen and mirror his excitement. But I couldn't, in all honesty, say that I retain all the things he's saying. So initially, when he was telling me about, that was my hard drive though, that my hand hit it and it flopped on my desk, which is devastating. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I take it all in, and then I dump it to make room for whatever else he's gonna share with me. So when he initially told me about K-pop Demon Hunter, I took it in and I was like, okay, cool. That's something you're into right now? Awesome. All right. But it wasn't until Maverick stumbled across it somehow. I don't know. Maverick's 4, and he has a way of like he also becomes deeply obsessed with things for moments in time. Like he was really into Mario for a while. He was really into Minions for a little while. He was really into... What else was Mav really into? I mean, Bluey's kind of a consistent. There was like a Bruno Mars song that he somehow came across on YouTube, and he was just like, had that on repeat and would sing it all day long. And then one day he started singing the songs from K-pop Demon Hunter, and I was like, oh, interesting. Mav has found a new song that he likes. And then Bane overheard it, and he was like, Dad, Maverick's singing the song from K-pop Demon Hunter. I was like, wait, you know what he's singing? He's like, yeah. And then that was the end. That was the beginning of the end of that song haunting my home. From that day, from that moment, those songs would start playing on repeat. Like, Maverick will watch that movie on Netflix, I don't know, 12 times a day. So I'm sitting at my computer trying to work on stuff, and in the background I hear or or I don't know the words, but I definitely know the melodies, and it haunts me in my dreams. It does. It actually truly does. I think in my dreams I've caught myself like humming it. I hope I'm not audibly humming it in my sleep. That'd be troubling. I don't know where that tangent came from, off talking about Ultron. I love AI though. I'm gonna say that. I've got my wife hooked on it now. My wife is all about some Chat GPT and utilizing it for her business and things like like she showed me a picture. We were watching Wednesday last night, and she showed me a photo on her phone. I'm like, that looks eerily like our living room. And she's like, it is. I was like, no, it's not. But it was. But it wasn't. It was Chat GPT's rendition of our living room to show my wife what a shelf above our TV would look like. So when I first started using AI, I really feel like my wife was just kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's just another thing my husband's fooling around with that doesn't make any sense to me. And then one day, she tried it out, and now it's her go-to assistant. And you know what? I use Chat GPT and Grok as AI assistants, and I think it's fantastic. It's definitely going to put a lot of people out of business because, why go hire a web developer when Chat GPT can code your website for you? Or a graphic designer when Chat GPT can, put together a logo for you? It's wild. Absolutely wild. Like, I'm like really, really, currently consumed with getting the Legacy by Leal web store to a, I don't know, just a comfortable place. I've given up on the rebrands. I'm not doing these rebrands thing anymore because this addiction to rebranding has really, really hindered my progress. I feel it's a very odd feeling being so, like, I don't know, creatively driven, but at the same time remaining stagnant because I'm making too much, if that makes any sense. Before I've completed one concept or idea, I'm already working on the next. Like I'll fulfill my vision with, whatever idea I have, and before I'm able to like implement it and present it to the world, I'm already neck deep on the next thing. So while working on the next thing, I completely forget about the previous thing, but the previous thing, the rest of the world hasn't had a chance to see yet. Because, I completed it, I'm done with it, I'm moving on, but I hadn't shared it with anyone. And I've realized that, and I'm trying to make a real conscious effort to, fulfill these things I'm making, if that makes sense. I don't know. Sure, it makes sense. But having ChatGPT as like an AI assistant has really, I don't know, man. It's been very, very beneficial, but at the same time, it's been also kind of enabling in the way of like, I'll have an idea, I'll work it out with ChatGPT, and I'll come to the end of the idea, and I'm moving on to the next, and then ChatGPT is like, yeah, let's work on the next thing now. But I haven't actually completed the task. I'll come up with a whole bunch of cool designs and a theme for the next set of like shirts or whatever, and before I even like post them or do anything with them, I'm on to the next idea. Anyway, I'm consciously trying to remedy that issue. Speaking of, go check out everything going on in our store at leallegacy.com or shop.leallegacy.com and check out what I got going on there. Right now I'm really, really into these like neo-traditional tattoo tributes to the Disney parks. Something I'm pretty proud of developing. And I'm posting new ones to the store. I already have all 6 of the US-based Disney park icons done in neo-traditional tattoo form. So that's like Sleeping Beauty's castle, Cinderella's castle, Spaceship Earth, the Hollywood Tower Hotel, and the Tree of Life. Oh, and then the Ferris wheel from Disney's California Adventure. Got all those up and posted, ready for purchase over at our web store. And now, as of today, I've started adding the same sort of neo-traditional tattoo renditions of each land from both Disneyland and Magic Kingdom. I don't know if I'll do the other parks though, because the lands in the other parks aren't as iconic as, say, like Tomorrowland, Adventureland, Frontierland, Fantasyland. You know what I mean? I don't really know if people would care about like the countries in the World Showcase. You know what I mean? Like doing the lands at Epcot would be essentially just doing designs of like the various countries there. So I don't really foresee the necessity of like having a Germany pavilion shirt or a land pavilion shirt. So I don't know. Maybe one day. We'll see how it goes. Next, I think I want to do some neo-traditional renditions of like the Disney films. That's something I've been kind of toying with and brainstorming and like doing some prototypes of. We'll see. But go check it out. Go check it out. You know what the best way to check that out too is to join our Legacy Club. If you go to leallegacy.com and go all the way down to the bottom of the home page, there's a little section where you can join the Legacy Club. Absolutely free. It's not like a subscription, Patreon-y kind of thing. It's just you join the club and you open yourself up to email notifications of, what's new. And promotions that will be exclusively available to those who have joined the Legacy Club. Get 20% off your order, blah, 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 whatever, stuff like that. And then like notifications on, hey, I just posted this new family vlog for Legacy of Leal, or I just posted a video of this, or here's a new podcast or whatever. Just so, just so you're immediately notified, because I've come to understand that social media, for whatever reason, Instagram, Twitter, all of them don't seem to be very good at showing your posts to all of the people following you. And I find that to be fairly ridiculous, because if somebody cares enough to follow a brand, a creator, or whatever, I mean, I would imagine they follow because they want to see more from said brand or creator or company or whatever it is, right? Like, I follow, I don't know, what's a good example? I'll follow a tattoo artist with the expectation of seeing their posts of tattoos they've done. You know what I mean? Or I'll follow a comedian or some other creator with the expectation that I'll be able to see whatever they post, and, I'm interested in that. That's why I followed. So I don't know why my algorithm tends to be riddled with like randos that I'm not following. Or so it seems. I don't know. But I guess what I'm really getting at is, instead of following Leal Legacy on whatever various social media outlet you choose, just join the Legacy Club, and you'll be notified directly from me about new happenings and going-ons. You know what I mean? Like, everything new that I make, be it a podcast, be it, shirt designs or vlog video, whatever it is, I post it to leallegacy.com. And then when I do the post, if you're in the Legacy Club, you'll get an email that says, hey, guess what? This new thing is going on from them. Instead of hoping you see it while scrolling your Instagram feed, hopefully you see my post out of the 2,000 other people you follow. Which I feel like that's ultimately where things are going or should be going. Less social media and more direct interaction. I don't think that's the word. A more direct connection with creators and individuals and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I really think having your own website, if you're a creator of any kind, having your own website, I believe, is far more beneficial than trying to keep up and hope for the best with social media. That's just my humble opinion. Like, instead of following a podcaster on Instagram, if I'm into their podcast, I would want to join. I guess it's like the old school mailing list. That whole idea that has kind of fallen to the wayside because so many companies do junk mail. I think people are hesitant to like sign up for anything or enter their email address for anything anymore. But that's the route I think things need to go. Like, if you're interested in what a brand does or a creator does, a direct link from them to you is, I believe, probably the most beneficial. But there's so many places that already do that. It's essentially what Patreon is, isn't it? But instead of like a monthly subscription fee, at Leal Legacy, we just open it up to as just a mode of communication. You know what I mean? It's not like for $5 a month you get this. No, man, just go over there, join the Legacy Club. That shows you're interested and you support what we're doing. So just by that alone, I'm happy to kick over like promo codes and stuff. Like, hey, thanks for being interested in what I'm doing. Here's 20% off your Legacy by Leal order. Right? All right. At this point, I'm just kind of like word vomiting and thinking out loud. I'm reassuring myself that my vision here is logical and reasonable and the way to go. So ultimately, with all that being said, go to leallegacy.com and join our Legacy Club and stay up to date. Stay up to date on everything we're putting out. Most recently, I have posted a new Leal Legacy View ride-through video of the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run ride from Disney's Hollywood Studios. And I was, for a while there, I kind of thought, like, whenever we go to Disney World or Disneyland or whatever, I like shooting like POV perspectives of like the ride. Just for all, it started as a keepsake kind of thing, just to have in our family archive, like family home video kind of stuff. But then I was like, this is really cool, because like, what if you live in England and you don't get to ride these rides we have here in the U.S. at these parks? Like, maybe you want to see what the experience is like. And I was like, oh okay, yeah, I'll throw that up on YouTube and just make that available for people. And I've bounced back and forth on like, is this idea dumb? Is this a silly thing to do? But then for the 70th anniversary of Disneyland, Disney Plus has done that same exact thing. If you go on Disney Plus, they have POV ride-throughs of like all the Disneyland rides. And I was like, aha, it was a good idea. It was such a good idea that Disney's doing it. I watched some of them, and you know what? I'm going to say the ones I do are better. They're more personable. The ones that are on Disney Plus are very unrealistic and kind of like, I don't know. There's not a lot of heart to them. It's just a very, what's the word I'm looking for? A very sterile experience. Like, their perspective on these rides. Like, I watched the Big Thunder Mountain one, and it was the camera was, I'm presuming somebody was holding it, but the point of view from the camera was like the back of the train and no one else on the ride. Like, nobody else, and it was just looking straight ahead. Like, it wasn't looking right and left and kind of like really trying to take in all the surroundings. It was just very, very mono-focused. And I don't like that. I like to try to like really cinematically kind of give the full ambiance, capture the full ambiance of all these rides and stuff. So that's just something. That's just one of the many things you can find at leallegacy.com. And that one's top of mind because the most recent one was the Smuggler's Run POV that I posted. And before that, I posted about the neo-traditional park icon, Disney park icons drop. I'll be doing the same once I get all the various lands posted. And then, another thing I just posted too. For those of you who don't know, Leal Legacy is just a narcissistic reflection of like me and everything I love and incorporated, my family into it as well because I love them. So there's going to be a lot of Disney-esque things. There's going to be a lot of like movie monster things. There's going to be a lot of spooky things. There's going to be a lot of mixed martial art things. And aside from the neo-traditional Disney designs that I have going up, I posted yesterday to the store, and this is really just going to be a very like Jiu-Jitsu centric kind of thing. But maybe if you don't do Jiu-Jitsu, you still like to do, you'll still enjoy the design. But I posted our graveyard grapplers design, and it's a skeleton hand popping out of the ground holding a jiu-jitsu belt. And I made a version it's a ranked design. So if you're a white belt, there's a white belt design for you. If you're a blue belt, there's a blue belt design for you. It's all the same design, but the belt color changes. So I don't know if that was a cool idea or a silly idea. I don't know if it's an idea that anyone's going to care about beyond, people who train jiu-jitsu. I don't know. But like I was saying, I like it, so that's why it exists. If you do train jiu-jitsu and you're a purple belt, hey, grab one of our Graveyard Grappler tees, the purple belt edition. And if you don't train at all, I don't know, just grab the one that you find the most appealing. I would recommend going with the white belt though, just to avoid any sort of like unwarranted interactions. Like I don't want you to get the brown belt version and be walking around Target and somebody like start eyeing you like, hey, you train? You go like, what? No, I just like skeletons. Leave me alone. Oh man, speaking of skeletons, I gotta start adding some like Halloween designs, because 'tis the season. We're creeping up on it. We're still flirting with fall, so don't go wild, don't get crazy yet. We're still flirting with fall. Keep your pumpkin spice on the shelf. Focus on those warm apple-esque flavors for the introduction to fall. And then the closer we get, like mid-September to Halloween, then start busting out the pumpkin spice. Ride that out through Thanksgiving, and then boom, hard switch to Christmas flavors. We went over that. We went over that on the last episode, so go listen to that if you're curious about what that little rant was. All right, let's draw this. Let's close this out. Let's close this very random, unexpected episode out. Hopefully you found it entertaining. I don't even remember what I talked about. I think I talked about mosquitoes, stupid people, super bots, and then K-pop Demon Hunter. I don't know the words, so that's the melody. Go look it up. It's actually not a terrible, like the portions I've caught of the movie I find myself like getting sucked into it. Maybe I'll watch the whole thing from start to finish one day with my kids, but as of now, I take it in like at 5 minutes at a time. And it's usually the same scenes too. I'm always catching myself watching the same parts over and over again. But anyhow, go to leallegacy.com, Leal legacy.com, and scope out all the killer content we have available for you, including our Legacy of Leal family vlog, our Leal Legacy View POV experiences, more of this podcast, the Leal Legacy podcast, just a whole archive of various commentaries that I have done over the years. I need to start doing more of those again. There's over 400 classic cartoon commentaries available on our website and our YouTube. Yeah, I gotta do more commentaries, but that's up there. And then our store, Legacy by Leal. Go check out all the really cool new designs that are kind of just ever, I'm really consistently putting up new stuff. The focal point right now, though, is the neo-traditional Disney designs. So if you're a Disney nerd, go scope it out. You can find it at leallegacy.com. Just scroll down the page a bit. And, access to our store is there. And then I even have the categories available right there on the homepage for you, too. So if you want to go see all our Disney stuff, boom, the categories right there for you. And then, if you really want to help us out in the most affordable way, would really just to be to share this with anyone and everyone. Share all of it. Go to YouTube, subscribe to our channels, go to your favorite podcast platform of choice and subscribe to this podcast. Leave a review, leave a rating, leave a comment. Do all those things, because that's really just going to help boost our position in the algorithm, which I don't know, man. I kind of think the algorithm might be a little lost at this point. It's just a sea of noise, and to stand out in it is nearly impossible, but here we are trying. But I just keep trying to direct people to our website. Like, sure, subscribe and do all those things at the various, outlets, but ultimately, just if you want to show some support, just drive people to our website, leallegacy.com. That's the hub. Everything we do, everything we create is centralized there. You know what I mean? You don't need to go from YouTube to Spotify to whatever. It's all in one place, and that's leallegacy.com. And then social media. I'm not a real big social media fan these days, but I do try to post. I do try to still have a presence there. I could do a better job at it, and maybe I will. But if you want to keep up in the day-to-day, on the fly, Leal Legacy. It's Leal Legacy, Leal Legacy, everywhere at Leal Legacy, and that's across all your favorite social media platforms. We got that URL on lock, so everywhere you want to be, it's Leal Legacy. Okay, do it. I gotta go take the trash out. It's 1:00 in the morning, and I still have to go take the trash to the curb. Blah. Okay. Anyhow, thanks for listening. Until next time, thanks for being a friend and telling a friend.